Hello and welcome everyone, Balance Council number 4, and this time it's a shorter video. Last time I put out like a 2-hour video, so this time we're doing it shorter. You can see my votes and you can also see community votes on the other side of the screen. So those gonna be rotating, but I just fastly go over the cards that I'd want to see changed. Всем привет! Небольшой обзор комьюнити голосов по совету баланса и мои на экране, где они должны быть. С другой стороны крутятся комьюнити про игроки и также контент-креаторы и их голоса. Так, ну и начнем с провизией. So provision nerfs is the first one I'd want to talk about. Novigrad is there, Novigrad is being played in every syndicate deck, it feels like. It definitely plays above the curve of 11 provisions. We can have some auto-include cards. Novigrad just seems to be a bit too good, but the issue is, like, you see there is no Yago and I remove Jackpot leader ability. My personal opinion, prediction is that Syndicate is just gonna get murdered, like Northern Realms were last patch, inspired Zeal deck by like 5 provisions, and Nilfgaard before that, so I just put 3 cards there. It doesn't matter if I put them here, I think everything goes through. Maybe Madame goes through provisions, Casino Bouncers maybe go by power, but I think all of those go. Yaga gets hit, maybe Jackpot leader ability gets nerfed because people are annoyed, and well, this is definitely unhealthy. You can lose a round from red coin nowadays because of Madame Marquis Serenity, or you have to go down to like 2 cards instead of passing on 4. So yeah, I'm just touching Novigrad and Casino Bouncers. Not a Spander, has no business being in the Eventide Plunder pool, so if we want we can make it 5 for 5. Thinning kinda looks nice on Syndicate when you are almost guaranteed to draw your top end golds without playing too many tutors. Seems like a healthy way. But at the same time, I don't want to see everything in at 4 provisions, especially with some extra high rolls like here from Eventide Plunder and Novigrad. You can just out of nowhere get that extra oomph. And Lord Riptide, same idea. It's basically in every monster's decks, because why wouldn't you want to have a removal that, well, is non-targetable, but you usually see your opponent trying to buff cards out of the common 4 damage removal range, and that often makes it the highest power unit. So here we are. Power nerf that we had before wasn't as cute because of the might condition, so maybe 10-point card for 9 provisions is where we are aiming at. So those are provision increases. Didn't put leader abilities. If you are looking at what community is voting, you, for example, can see Mayamon is buffing leader abilities, but I think we can do that with cards mostly. But yeah, some people are trying to revert Inspired Zeal, so from my votes you can see that there is like a reversal of Casino Bouncers, for example. So those things, tug of war, gonna be happening. So provisions nerfs are covered. Now we can look at the power nerfs, because those are like reiterating last council's votes for many people, remaking them. So here you see Marquis Serenity, power nerf. You're already paying, if we are doing all the maths and all the consideration, 1 extra provisions for Marquis by running the Slice Seductress, a 5p card. So there is a cost included. It's a shame that this card just replaced Passiflora. It's a shame that this card is being played without second Slice Seductress, for example, as well. So something's wrong. Does 1 power do anything? Well, there is a common discussion that 1 power change on this or that, not doing anything. At the same time, like, this deck is struggling for some reason. Probably meta changed, but maybe they started losing by that 1 point. You never know. That's not a stat supplied by the analytics though. That's just something that we can point at. People have started playing Harmony instead, so I guess the Shiro with armored Guerrilla Tactics deck is not feeling as good as before. So Marquis 1 point nerf doesn't do much, but it's still a way makes it available for removal at 3 or 4 damage and not 5-6 if she overprofits with Jackpot, which maybe allows you, if you're playing enough removal, to stay in touch with the Jackpot deck, but let's be honest, it's gonna get murdered. Like, you are not seeing Vice because this was better. Maybe now Vice becomes a consideration once again for Syndicate. It also, I played enough Jackpot, it didn't feel like a Syndicate deck. I usually struggle with those, and here you just not okay. You need to care about the Novigrad overprofit, but no overprofit concern. You know what cards you tutoring for, you are thinning because bouncers and Sur Raiders exist. So deck was like Syndicate deck on minimal requirements that anyone can play. It's like, I don't want to be overly dramatic. The game wasn't playable. It's fine sometimes to have this. We've seen a lot of metas where one deck was dominating heavily. Well, this was Jackpot's time. Nobody learned their lesson from 2 years ago. So next, Regis is a card that lost its deck milling condition ability, so now there is less risk for playing it. At 19 power for 10 provisions seems like a bit too much, so maybe we can stop at 18 or 17. Let's see how community feels, but at the moment this is an incredible reach card that also fuels your Ozreals, allows you to push if your opponent doesn't have any toll punish. Oh yeah, just contest round 1 and have it in the graveyard ready for consume and applying pressure in round 2. Not much to say about it. It's just the number is a bit too high, even for like, alternatives in monsters that have some condition and easily removed. Swollblot deck has been dominant for Scaly Gear for longest time possible now, so that's just a power nerf. Occasionally, yeah, it sticks and people don't have enough damage to remove it, but usually if he goes off, it goes off, but I don't have slots in provision nerfs, so for now, a power nerf, I don't know. Is it enough? Is it good? From the current list, I'd probably remove Swollblot and Zerit if I had better ideas, but I kinda decided to finalize my list for the video, otherwise it's not coming out. And also, if you are enjoying the content, enjoying my videos of gameplay and casting, Karim's, these types of videos as well, drop a like, drop a follow, если контент нравится, геймплей, турики, все будет продолжаться, ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, всем спасибо за поддержку. So, okay, power, so Swollblot, yeah, being in meta for too long. Valerio, I think, suggests the provision nerf for this, and it also makes sense. Then it's a high power card with a high cost, and it plays like one. This also plays like one. like Regis is cheaper and like probably can stop at 18, no need to nerf provisions. But those two are big offenders. So now for the fun stuff and the stuff that actually can change the meta in terms of adding something new. Let's start with the provision decrease. Yennefer of Vengerberg, a card, payoff card for all the swarm decks, maybe occasionally a damage card for no unit decks, but yeah, not many examples of that. We have Swarm in Arachas Swarm deck and in monsters occasionally in general, with fast consumes on Plague Maiden, for example, but Yen is not getting played there. One reason is the Kikimor Stalker being a card. You need to consume your own drones, so you're swarming with either consuming, swarming again, just to get those going as removal. So pure swarm deck, playing chimeras and all that is not really in favor. So Yen goes into the golden necker range, but also becomes just cheaper, with conjunction with the poor infantry buff that I hope goes through. I've seen it on many ballads, but if not, then maybe Kirak Frigate go, so, or maybe Vichers, I don't know. So some swarm in NR, there is possibility for swarm in, as I said, monsters. So an interesting card, I always liked it. The problem is if Nilfgaard is in the meta, you are just suffering for playing it, because they can play 3 copies of it. Next one is Selective Mutation, card that spawns Witchers. Community has been buffing slowly Witcher decks, but none of them became meta. One sure way to make Shield Witcher NR playable is probably buffing this to 5 power, because yeah, at the moment people are not running it. But if we're trying to do it more like gentle way, maybe Selective Mutation is one of those. It spawns you Witcher students that you can transform. It swarms with Witcher students. If you're playing Skellige as well, you get your desired card with Adrenaline into your hand. We've seen the Silver Witchers getting buffed, and if you looked at all the votes, Mayamon I think wants to buff them to 6 provisions. Not sure how I feel about that, but people are touching those cards, so Selective Mutation also makes sense. What else? There is a Serret. I just didn't find a slot that fit with other community votes, and for my personal liking, it should be Serret, because the Witcher trio from Nilfgaard is seeing no play. And for the buffs, Hafrosinger, a card that does something and then has like this engine value. I don't think it deserves to be full provision. Please stop voting for all the cards that have some interesting abilities. To go, stop voting for them to go to full provisions. It doesn't make sense. Some full provision cards should act as a baseline, so this I'd rather buff by power, and maybe it sticks a bit more often, and yeah, it has a healing, and then it has the engine value of when you heal you spawn a siren, so 2 points per turn if you can't heal every turn. There are cards for that. And also we have the Drummond's Queen's Guard, a card that you can hit with the totem at 5 power. It goes to Berserk condition. You can click it, spawn a new copy, and continue doing so. Totem also has the condition of being playable for 2 rounds. And then you can try to heal them. They are spawning them, like they are with totem efficient enough to swarm the row, and then you can play the heal cards like the Flaminica, Heime Flaminica, that heals the entire row. So why not try? I also seen Hafru Singer in many ballads, but it just depends. There are limited spaces for buffs. And what I'm buffing here is Poor Fucking Infantry. Also seen it in some ballads. I wanted it to be buffed myself. Nice synergy with Draug potential, if you remember the deck where you just transform the row and then shuffle all of them and then play a big Erland instead of like Mutagenerator Erland that we had in the past 2 years. This is one way, but it's a General Soldier Swarm card that works with uprisings and just board swarm and me, for example, that boosts units. So that covers it. That's like a 15-minute video, 5 minutes longer that I wanted to be. Thanks for watching. Спасибо, что смотрели. На этом все. Чужие голоса увидели. Можете писать, как вам совет баланса мой и вообще как механика. То, что перетягивает канат туда-сюда с некоторыми картами, этого не избежать. Например, вышибалы мне не особо нравятся на 4 провизиях. So yeah, write your suggestions. Of course, there is not enough time. This is just a short, quick video. One day before the changes go in power, so those are my opinions. Share yours in comment, drop a like, join this next stream whenever that happens, and see you next time. Bye bye.